Let's now look at labeling forces in with ramps. So here we're going to be making sure we're going and linking our understanding back to our syllabus here for New South Wales students, and we're hitting a variety of spots here. It's not just doing one, ticking it and then moving on. We're actually doing and hitting this syllabus in multiple locations. So let's just check this out. So we have been talking about Newton's first and second laws of motion, and we've been relating that to everyday situations in both static and dynamic examples. Now, static, of course, is when it's not moving, and dynamic is when it's moving. And we're going to be looking at this frictional force here. We have been investigating and describing acceleration of a single object subjected to a constant force. Now, remember that's Newton's second law, F equals ma, and if the forces are unbalanced, then that means that the object undergoes an acceleration. And we have seen examples of that, and we're going to keep looking at those examples there. So we have a net force, a constant net force, and relates to the motion using Newton's second law of motion. We've been doing qualitative descriptions there. Okay, we've been drawing graphs and vectors. We've been doing our force diagrams and showing all the forces on, and of course we've been relating it to F equals ma. In other words, when we add up all the forces, we're making it F equals ma, and if it's stationary and the net force is 0, then we're making that equal to 0. So we're sort of hitting all of these little spots here through lots of examples. So let's get into this video. Alright, so let's have a look at labeling forces with friction, okay, because up until now a lot of the ones we've been doing is without friction. And we've talked about what friction is, and so let's explore that. Now, if we have a load on a ramp, and it says if it's in motion, that means that there must be an unbalanced force. Okay, remember that F equals ma, and that is the sum of all the forces there, Newton's second law. If the sum of the forces is not 0, that means the object is undergoing some type of acceleration, right? Because remember when we said Newton's first law? Newton's first law was an object stays at rest or in constant motion unless it's acted upon by an unbalanced external force. So if that unbalanced external force is causing the object to have a net force that's not 0, it's going to undergo an acceleration. And so this block is undergoing acceleration down the ramp here. So let's see if we can label these forces going on here. So we have the load here. I'm just going to do the center of mass. We have and let's just do that a little bit better than that. We have a nice straight force going down. That is the pull of gravity. So that's mg. Remember, Fg, the force is the pull of gravity, mg, and that's of course equal to its weight. So we could say the weight force is equal to mg as well. But then of course we have the normal force. Now I'm just going to move this out of the way here. Okay, the normal force is of course, remember, the force that is perpendicular to the surface that it's on. So let's now draw this from perpendicular from the surface, and we're going to go up like so. All right, that's the normal force. And remember that we want to choose our coordinate system so that the plane of motion is what we're concerned with. So I'm going to be drawing my coordinate system like this for the y, and the x is going to be in the same direction as the plane of my ramp. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to use our components to break our forces up. So now, in order to add the forces according to our coordinate system, my normal is in the correct direction. My normal is going up here like this, right, which is in the same direction here. But my force of gravity is on an angle now. Okay, so I'm going to have to break that up into components so that I stick with my x and y axes. So let's now choose a different color. Let's go for purple here, pink. So now let's do the vertical component of our velocity. Of our force. And so we have Fg, and because that is perpendicular to the actual surface here, so there's the surface, and this force is perpendicular, the Fg component, I'm going to call that Fg perpendicular. And then if I change colors now and I go this way, right, that is my horizontal force, and that is now parallel, that's parallel to the plane, to the x-axis, right? It's parallel to the x-axis. So I'm going to call that FG parallel. Okay, now if I enlarge this diagram here, let's enlarge it. Okay, so if I enlarge this diagram, I now have, if I get black, I now have the angle theta here, or theta, and that's equal to this one down here. So now, if I look at my relationships, I've got opposite over hypotenuse. Well, we know the hypotenuse is mg, right? So here's our mg, and we said that was mg. So my opposite over hypotenuse is what my expression is now for FG parallel. So let's write that in. I'm just going to go across here. So FG parallel is equal to mg sine theta. And if I have a look at my adjacent side, the FG perpendicular, then that is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is cos. So we write that in. So that's mg cos theta. Okay, so now I have my normal force, which is according to our y direction. I now have the opposite force to my normal force, which is the perpendicular component of the weight force, right? This is there. And then I have my parallel force here to my x direction of my ramp. But if that's going down that way, there has to be something going in the opposite direction here, because it's friction, right? So friction is going in that direction there. So I could actually choose a different color now. Let's do orange. And so my frictional component is going up here. Okay, and that frictional component is opposite to this direction here. Okay, now since it says the acceleration is going down the slope, that's telling me that this downward force must be larger than the upward frictional force, right? So if I was to add those forces together, remember that the F equals ma, so my force is in the x direction. This is the x direction here. And what forces do I have? Well, I have my frictional force and I have my weight force, right? Or the force of gravity going down in terms of the x component here. So I have those two forces which I can add together. Now, generally, depending on what coordinate system you want to choose, if you make the direction in which it's accelerating as positive, then this has to be negative. So this force is positive, this force is negative. So if I go, the sum of the forces is Fg parallel, take away the frictional force, is equal to ma. Okay, and there's a little expression there that I can use to work that out if I need be. So what we're doing is we're just labeling all the forces. We've labeled the normal force, and we've broken up our weight force, right, our mg force, into a vertical component and a horizontal component. We said that the vertical component was equal and opposite to our normal force. Okay, since they're equal and opposite, that weight force doesn't go anywhere. We have the horizontal component of the weight force, and that's acting down the slope. And there has to be, in this instance, because we're talking about friction, there's an upward force of friction which goes in the opposite direction to motion, that's acting upward. Since we've got acceleration going down the ramp, that must be telling us that the downward component of the weight force is greater than the upward frictional force. And we wrote a little expression here to sort of work that out if we need to, right? If we're given some more data. So this is an example of how you do a force diagram. For this, I could simplify this, of course, if I wanted to, and just do a dot to represent the mass. I could do the upward force, which is the upward force, which is the force of my normal force. I then have a downward force. Remember that downward force is this one here. So I would then write that as mg cos theta. I then have a backward force going this way, which is our frictional force just there, okay, which is ff. And then if I do a different color here, I have my horizontal component there of the weight force, and that's going, whoops, let's change back to my blue, and that's going in that direction. And I would have my mg sine theta. Now we know that these two are equal and opposite, so the weight's not going up and down, but we can definitely see from my diagram here that this arrow here is longer than this arrow, which is indicating that the net force is a force causing it to move down the slope, therefore it's accelerating down the slope. And so we're relating it to Newton's first law and second law there. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of how to draw that. I'll see you in the next video where we take this a little bit further. Until then, make sure your notes are detailed, you're using colours, it's nice and clear, you've gone over everything, you've related to the syllabus, and you keep using the terminology that's in the syllabus. See you in the next video.